The snow clawed at my skin like glass. Each gust was a blade. Each step, agony. I clutched my belly, doubled over as another contraction ripped through me. My screams vanished into the blizzard. No one came. No one opened. Door after door, fist after fist. My knuckles were bloodied from pounding. People's lights were on, but curtains snapped shut when they saw me, a swollen girl in rags, begging. It was then, shivering, breath shallow, blood running down my thighs, that I realized they wanted me dead, and so did he. Back then, I still believed in Daniel, my Daniel, the man who swore he loved me, who whispered against my skin that he'd protect me and our child. But love rots quickly in the dark. The first clue came with his late nights, the second with his sudden distance, his silence when I asked about money. The third was undeniable. His mother smirk when she told me, almost gleefully, that I was never supposed to carry his child, that I was only ever a mistake to be erased. I asked him once, trembling, if it was true. He didn't deny it. He just turned away. From that moment, I knew. They weren't waiting to build a family. They were waiting for me to collapse. And on that storming night, when Daniel had gone on a trip and his family locked their doors against me, their plan nearly worked. I was on the edge of death when a door finally opened. A flicker of warmth spilled into the storm. An old woman stood there, frail, hunched, but with eyes sharp as knives. She pulled me inside, her hands cold yet steady. I expected kindness, pity, but instead she whispered, "He did this to you, didn't he?" Her words cut deeper than the frost. She knew. She told me everything as she stoked the fire. Daniel wasn't just avoiding me. He was already engaged to another. A deal arranged months before, for power, wealth, and name. I was just the foolish detour, the mistake to be erased before it spoiled his perfect story. The old woman? She wasn't just a stranger. She had been his father's mistress years ago, abandoned, betrayed. She had lived through the same fate Daniel's family had written for me. But unlike me, she had survived. Her lips curled into something almost like a smile when she said, "If you want to live, girl, stop crying, start planning." I gave birth in her cabin. My son's cries were the first sound that cut through the storm. Weak, but alive. And as I held him, sweat-soaked and trembling, I made my vow. I would not beg them again. I would not knock on their doors for scraps of mercy. I would take everything from them, slowly, quietly, until they understood what it felt like to be left in the cold. The old woman taught me patience. She gave me names, numbers, contacts. People who hated Daniel's family as much as she did. While nursing my child, I studied business records, property ledgers, affairs hidden in plain sight. I pieced together their empire, brick by brick, until I saw the cracks. Daniel's father's company depended on one contract, one signature that held the rest together. I found out who held it. I found out what they wanted. And I gave it to them, quietly, anonymously. I never signed my name, never left a trail. But the day that contract slipped from their grasp, I knew they felt it. It wasn't enough, so I went deeper. His mother, so proud, so cruel, hid things Daniel didn't know. Bank accounts overseas, affairs she thought were secret. I let them slip into the wrong hands. And Daniel himself? I didn't touch him, not yet. I let him sweat under the weight of failure, let him wonder why every deal soured, why his father stopped trusting him, why his bride-to-be vanished days before their wedding with proof of his lies in her purse. The confrontation came on a night almost like the one that broke me. Snow falling heavy, their house dim and silent. I walked up, not to beg, but to deliver. Daniel opened the door. His face was hollow, his suit crumpled. "You?" he whispered, like seeing a ghost. I smiled, calm, steady, the way I hadn't been the night he left me to die. "Hello, Daniel," I said. He stammered excuses, apologies, bargains. I said nothing, just handed him a single envelope. Inside was the final proof. The deed to the last property his family owned transferred out from under them. Their safety net gone. Their empire reduced to ash. I watched his hands shake as he read, watched the color drain from his face. "Why?" he whispered. I leaned in, so close he could see the frost in my lashes, the calm fire in my eyes. "Because you left me in the snow," I said. "And I don't forget." I didn't wait for him to answer. I left him there, in his crumbling house, clutching papers he could no longer use to save himself. And as the wind swallowed me again, I didn't feel cold anymore. I had carried life through death. I had turned pain into fire. I had shown them what it meant to be abandoned. Then I left them with nothing but the storm. People call it revenge. I call it survival.